record. Okay, let me just give you guys a little history on the why we do Woodlands. So we have many things that we do in the summer. I am working on getting more of an option for middle school families. High school, we kind of have like 3 or 4, sometimes 5 different options for high schoolers to do. Hopefully I can have some bandwidth as we continue to grow as a youth group to offer more for middle school. They kind of, like Treehouse, they just get one option, Treehouse Camp. Then they go to middle school, there's really just one option, it's Woodlands. And then once they get to 14, 15 years old, there's a plethora of stuff they can do. But the why of Woodlands is, that's where I grew up going to camp. Big John, camp director, is a really good friend of not only me, but of our church. And it was places like Woodlands that just completely changed my life. I think it's really important for our kids to take that next step. Treehouse is really the first time where it's like, hey, we're gonna go overnight for multiple days. And then middle school Woodlands is like a Monday through Saturday. So it's kind of a lot longer. And we'll get into in just a little bit about what communication will look like. But we just really believe in Woodlands. They have just been a really good ministry friend for a long time. Middle school camp, I think if you look at the history of our youth group, has proven to do one of two things. Jesus has used that to save a lot of kids in our youth group. There's something really special about camp. Hi, welcome. There's something really special about camp where you just get out of your normal routine. You get out of the house, you get away from technology, and God can really just capture a heart. Barna research shows that most kids are susceptible to the gospel at about 11, 12, 13, and 14. Those 4 years, when they poll followers of Jesus, those 4 years, the stats are just through the roof. And then they say around 16 years old is when teens start to get disenfranchised with church and with Jesus. So if you look at our numbers at Alive, we're a very heavy 7th grade, 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade. And then 11th grade and 12th grade, my numbers just start to really dwindle. The good thing is it's not an Alive problem. It's a national problem around that 16 years of age, which is where, you can come, which is where I'm even going to the elders on Tuesday to talk about maybe changing my job description just a little bit to shift how we reach juniors and seniors in high school. But anyways, we really believe in Woodlands. God has been really faithful over the years to let that kind of be a turning of a page in a lot of our kids' journey with Jesus. And even for a lot of those kids that didn't go to Treehouse Camp, sometimes middle school Woodlands is like the first real overnight camp. So thank you for the financial sacrifice you guys have made. We can find other camps that are cheaper, but your kid will get a cheaper experience. It's kind of one of those, we believe Woodlands is the best, but we do believe that price is comparable. If I were to take my kids to the beach Monday through Saturday, it's probably going to cost a lot more just for transportation and lodging and food and attractions and all that. But I just say that as one parent to another, thank you for the financial sacrifice. We know it's not cheap, but I think there's no better way. Hi, welcome, for you guys to use the money that God has blessed you with. So thank you. Okay. I know we've had a few parents trickle in. Main 2 goals for the next 30 minutes. Number 1, I hope you guys are able to meet each other. Number 2, I hope I can help you prepare physically for this trip. So we're there June 26th through July 1st. The 26th, we need you guys here at 12:30. 12:30 on the 26th of June, and we have a 1 o'clock departure. So please don't show up at 12:59. That's normally the North Hills way. The real North Hills way is 1:15. So let's not be what this church is normally what we are. We just love being late. Maybe I should tell you guys noon. I don't know, but 12:30 would be great. We'll get you guys checked in, go through the whole medicine luggage dance. But we'll leave at 1 o'clock. And then this is the most important part. We get back on July 1st. You will know our ETA for when we get back if you follow our social media platforms. Normally what we do is once I have every kid accounted for, every piece of luggage accounted for, I then put the address in my GPS. Whatever that ETA tells me, that's what I'll post on our Instagram and Facebook page. I don't know everyone's stances on social media. I've had some parents beg me to get rid of all forms of our social media platforms. I've had some, they normally just get frustrated with our social media because I'm not good at grammar or spelling. So you know if the caption is me, if it looks like a third grader wrote it, it was probably me. But social media is how you guys will be able to keep up with us really throughout the week as well. Me and my sons will be in and out. So just so you guys know, Woodlands is a camp where once we drop our kids off, they're very much like, thank you. They're with us for the week. You, youth pastor, are dismissed, which is really great in one of two ways, because it gives me the flexibility to come in and out throughout the week, just because we have an internship program going on. There's high school events happening, and it's a good excuse to get my kids out of the house. So I'm kind of in and out a lot. Their tagline is to, you are awesome to your kids, but to every other kid, you're just a random creepy adult as well. They do a really good job of kind of taking them and putting them in this beautiful Woodlands bubble. But just so you guys know, I will be in and out a lot. They have a lodge where they let adults stay, which is like maybe 100 yards from the campus. But because I have a really good relationship with Big John, they kind of let Judah and Levi be a part of the games and kind of in and out. So I'm there. My goal is just to really try and connect with kids that maybe I just don't know. A lot of the kids that we take to middle school camp are brand new from Treehouse. So I'm just trying to build relationships with them. But keep up with us on our social media platforms. Follow Woodlands as well on their Facebook page. They do a great job of keeping that updated. Medicine. Let's just talk medicine real quick. And you might be able to help me with this. But Woodlands wants all medicine in these things called blister packs. Apparently, they don't want like a bottle of ibuprofen. They don't want like a half-open bottle of antibiotic. I think they want it in a blister pack, which I think if you go to any CVS, they can get that done for you. Also, make sure that you label the blister pack really, really well, that they know like which kid and which church the medicine belongs to. And Woodlands does a really great job of helping them remember throughout the week. Yes, I won't be doing that. Their nurse department does a great job with that. And then whatever leftover medicine there is, they'll make sure they get that in the luggage of the camper. So CVS, I think it just costs a few bucks to get them in those blister packs. Okay, next thing I have on here is please clearly label luggage. If there's one problem we have every year, it is lost luggage. Either they lost it during the week of camp, or they just didn't put it on the trailer. So really coach your kids that there's not like valet luggaging. Like they can't just like drop it in a parking lot and then I just know this belongs to our kid and I pick it up and chuck it on the trailer. High school goes on a big champion bus. So there's normally like this guy in like a suit and tie that'll do luggage for us. But middle school, we're taking both mini buses and a gray van that belongs to North Hills. And the gray van pulls a trailer, which I will drive. So really coach your kids that they've got to put their luggage on the North Hills trailer. Sometimes there's other trailers there that our kids have put luggage on there. If Tim is not standing by the trailer, it's not our trailer. We have had kids put their luggage on other buses, other vehicles. And it's a huge mess. And I have really angry parents. And I'm just like, this is a learning curve for your kid. I don't know. Like, they got to put it on a trailer that says North Hills Community Church. It still says community. Maybe that's what's thrown them. But just really help your kiddo with luggage. Have your kid not bring really expensive stuff. And we'll get to that in a second of the packing list. But I'll have kids that lose chacos that cost $175. Don't. Go to Goodwill and find a $5 pair. Send them in those. Middle school is normally like, the goal is, yes, we want God to do a work in their hearts. High school's got this figured out. But you would think. But I think the goal is, did they remember to brush their teeth every night? Did they actually put deodorant on? Male and female. Like, there's just different wins with middle school and high school. High school, it's more like they want to wear their North Face sweatshirts or like their nice stuff, but if it gets lost, just don't get upset at me, because I'm just not there to babysit them every step of the way. But please make sure luggage is really clearly labeled. I've noticed that our kids don't even know what their luggage looks like. So when I say, oh, you've lost your luggage, where is it? And they're like, I don't know. And I go, well, what does it look like? I don't know. And I think, I don't know how to help you. So anyways, if your student isn't driving back with us, let us know. That's really important. Sometimes families will come and pick their kids up after camp and then go to the beach, and they don't tell us. So for 45 minutes, I'm walking around trying to find Fred. I'm calling Fred's parents. They're not picking up. We think I've lost Fred, and I'm going to be on the local news. You got to let us know if you're picking Fred up. You would think that's common sense, common knowledge. Every year it happens. It's not. So no big deal if you want to do it. Just make sure you let us know. Let's talk money. So I know it already costs an arm and a leg to get your kid to go to camp. However, they have a trading post that has t-shirts and Woodlands merchandise. In the trading post, they have coffees and ice cream and milkshakes. It's pretty wild how they can just blow through money at Woodlands. So I think if you send your kid with around $50 to $60 for the week, they should be good. I'm a big proponent in making your kid do chores, cut the grass, do what they've got to do. There are some kids in middle school, especially high school, that will go with hundreds of dollars. Like, they live for camp. They have been saving since September 1st, and they're ready to just have the week of their lives. But parents normally ask, how much money should I send my kid with? I think if you're in that $50, $60, really help coach your kid on maybe having a budget per day. There are some kids where 3 hours into camp, they've blown through all their money. And it's so sad and pathetic to see them on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday with no money. However, Woodlands is smart, and Woodlands wants your money. There's a way you can go on their website and put more money on their bracelet. So any USD, United States dollars, that currency gets changed into Woodlands dollars. Know this, at the end of the week, they have an offering. And some of the language they use with our kids is whatever money you have left on your bracelet, you can use that for the offering. We're all about giving and being generous and being spirit-led. But after a week of being tired and on sugar, like there's some kids who have like $100 left and they'll just give it to the offering. And then I have a parent looking at me going, where is my child's money? And I guess they spent it, but then we come to find out they gave it into an offering, which is wonderful. I think that's great. But just have that conversation with your kid before when it comes with money. The only extra thing attraction-wise is paintball. I know paintball costs money. I think they get to play for free once, but if that kid wants to play multiple times afterwards, all those extra paintballs cost money. Is there any question with money before I move on? Good. Okay. Contacting your student during camp, only for emergencies. Like if poo has really hit the fan at home, you can call Woodlands. I would just say call me. That's probably the quickest way. But they are really trying to be intentional with cutting off communication from home. Not because they're the boogeyman or they are trying to brainwash your kid for the glory of Satan. No, it's not that. It's rather for the glory of God. But I can't tell you how many times there has been toxic stuff going on at home, and that toxicity has come in Tuesday when that mom or dad demands to talk to their kid and it's not an emergency, so we just randomly hand a cell phone to a kid, and then that kid's attitude changes. Sometimes that's a real struggle. Now, I know that's not the norm or really the case with probably what's going on here at North Hills, but I think they want it to where this kid is disengaging from home and from technology and just from everything going on. And I think Woodlands asks, if you do want to get a hold of your kid, just call me, and then we'll just have a conversation on if it's worthy or not. And again, you can always trump me. You're the parent. They're not my kids. So if you say no, I understand your heart and your reason, I still want to talk to my kid, okay, then we'll make it happen. But in that partnership, just kind of know that's kind of our heart of doing that. My number, if you just want to take your phone out, I can give you my number, is 864-363-2206. It's been my same number since freshman year of high school. 864-363-2206. Like I said, me and my boys will be in and out a lot. But I will say, if it is an emergency, calling Woodlands is not you probably can, but they're really hard to get a hold of. I don't think they just have a secretary that's just waiting by the phone. I think it's like a restaurant. If you've ever seen a restaurant, it's like whoever's walking by and whoever wants to pick it up. I don't know. I think their focus is just on camp maybe. But I say that not to frustrate you, to say, just call me. That's the best way. No technology of any kind. So that's iPads, cell phones. If kids have smartwatches, I think they even discourage that. So just help us. Make sure you go through your kids' luggage. Last year, I had a parent look at me and say, I had no idea my kid packed fireworks. I'm so sorry. So we had one incident where this 8th grade boy was going firework crazy. They thought it was a firearm. The camp kind of got a little wonky, and came to find out it was a kid of a live student ministry. When I make that phone call to the parent, you can't plead ignorance that you didn't know. So just go through your kid's bag, make sure the cell phone's not in there, because a lot of what our kids are doing is they are bringing their phones and they're leaving it in the bag from 7 a.m. to midnight. But then when everyone goes to bed, they're getting that phone. One of the things we're working through as a leadership team is our burner phones. That is a new thing we're dealing with, a flip phone that mom and dad don't know of, and they're footing the bill somewhere else so they can have a separate phone. Mom and dad's checking this phone. They've got this burner phone over here. It's ridiculous, but it's just the day and age we live in. Roommate requests. So you can request roommates if you want to be in a cabin or a bunk with a buddy. The camp needs to know this 2 weeks before our week of camp. So you don't communicate that to us. You'll communicate that to them. They do a good job with their phone when camp is not in session. So I'm sure if we were to call them tomorrow during their hours, someone will pick up. But if you want to make sure that can happen of a requesting of a roommate, just call Woodlands. Next thing is food allergies. Every year, I kid you not, there will be a kid who by Tuesday morning is super sick. I go and talk to said kid who is super sick, and then in our conversation, this kid has eaten nothing. I go, why aren't you eating? And they go, well, I can't have gluten. I go, why am I just finding this out now? So I have to run to the Ingles in town, get all their stuff, bring it back so they have food to eat. You can go on Woodlands' website and see what the food will be. The food is awesome. It's really good. If you have a food allergy, the food is terrible. So the food situation, the ball is in your court. Come with a cooler, packed with all their food, label, right, like how this is going to work. And they have a full-time chef where I will give that food to them, and they are really good at following through with all the food allergy stuff. So just make sure that if there are food allergies or things you want to take, that also goes with luggage. We'll be home 2 days later. I get a call from mom or dad saying, "Hey, where's my kid's cooler?" I go, "I don't know what you're talking about." They go, "Oh yeah, my kid brought a cooler. You gave it to the chef." And I go, "Well, your kid should have gone and gotten their cooler." So again, we're going to try and treat them like adults. Middle schoolers are, and I know you guys, even high school, they're tricky. They're competent, but they're still completely clueless. So they really throw you for a loop where they seem like they know what they're doing, and then a couple days in of talking with them, you're like, wow, this is sad. They just think magically, because mom and dad have just done everything for them their whole lives. I am not mom and dad. They sadly learned that by about junior year with me. Tim's a very poor parent. Don't go to Tim if I'm dying or if I need help. Those are life group leaders will help with that. All right, what to pack. So I'm just going to kind of fly through this real quick. If you don't pack these things, it's going to be kind of a hard week for your kiddo. They need twin size sheets. They need to bring sheets because they're going to show up with a bare mattress. They need sheets.
This is all going to go out in an email or something, right? Or am I supposed to be writing this down?
I can. I'm just going to send you the link and you can re-listen. I'm just kidding. I'm recording it. I can email it out. Yeah, I'll just copy and paste from my notes. I also think there's a cheat sheet on Woodlands website as well. You can go to the what to pack. They need a blanket and a pillow. Sleeping bag is fine too. Beach towel and bath towel. They need 2 different types of towels. Athletic clothes. They need athletic clothes. This happens every year too, and I don't know why. Parents will send their kids with cleats instead of tennis shoes. No cleats, tennis shoes. So that kind of you laugh, but I'm sure when my kids, Judah and Levi, are this age, we'll be the same dorky parents doing the same thing. But athletic clothes, the main thing that people are wearing are gym shorts and a t-shirt, guy and girl. So just anything athletic. Woodlands is an athletic camp, which I think is why our kids love it so much, because I'm not athletic. So our youth group doesn't do anything athletic, maybe except once or twice a year, because I like baseball. That's not very athletic, right? There's a 7th inning stretch, for crying out loud. We have to stretch in our sport because we get so tired of sitting. 1-piece bathing suit for girls. I think tankinis are fine. That is a thing. It's a 2-piece, but it looks like a 1-piece. I think from what I Googled. Sorry, I don't have daughters. Sandals are also a really good choice to bring. I'm a big fan of Chacos, just not the expensive Chacos. Just get those crummy Chacos where if your kid loses them, it's unfortunate, but you're only out $5. Insect repellent and sunblock. This is another big thing we deal with about 2-3 days in. The kid is absolutely miserable because they look like a tomato. So just start having conversations with them about sunblock. It really can ruin their week. I mean, June, July in Georgia, it's hot. And then most of my boys will not shower because the shower hurt. They were so sunblocked they didn't even want to take a shower. Water bottle, an empty water bottle is really, really smart because there are tons of places where they can keep filling that up. Try and walk your kiddo through staying hydrated. That's really helpful. Monster energy drinks and no water and no food is not helpful. Please don't send your kid with energy drinks. Please. They can put snacks and drinks in their bag to keep in their cabin to like save money. But there's some kids who come with like a 50-pack of Monsters and they just live off of it. And it's really bizarre by Wednesday when they're playing kickball and they just pass out. A flashlight is really important to bring. They do night games, flashlight. And please don't send like the mini flashlight with like AAA batteries where it's out in like 2 hours. Like, try and send them with a helpful flashlight, toiletries, and a rain jacket. It's gonna rain, the kid's gonna get drenched. It's just a part of camp. Rain jacket will be really helpful. I also think it's really fun if you can invest $8 into a wind-up camera. So number one complaint we hear, I don't have my phone, I never know what time it is, and I can't take pictures. So this is crazy. They really have ways you can take pictures apart from the cell phone. You can still go to Walmart, get those little wind-up cameras. It's not ideal. It's a waste of money, but you'll see kids all around camp with them. And then a watch will be really helpful. A watch. Let me talk what not to bring. And unfortunately, I think this just leans into females more than it does males. Body piercings. I don't think they want body piercings of any type, even earrings. They have, I think high school does it more than middle school, but I think Tuesday they have dock wrestling. Like, this cabin faces this cabin in dock wrestling, and it's a little dock out on the lake. The kids swim out there, they climb up on it, and it's like King of the Hill. It really is, and kids, and they love it. It's like the most popular thing they do, but earrings get ripped out, so no body piercings of any kind. They ask for no spaghetti straps, no tight tank tops, no crop tops, and no spandex or yoga pants, except if it's worn under clothes. So it's their world, it's their house. We'll abide by their rules. We don't really have a dress code or anything as a youth group. Even if someone was dressed inappropriately, I probably would not even address it with said person. No 8th grade girl wants me coming up and having that conversation with them. If it's really bad, I'll have a life group leader that has a relationship to talk to said person. So here's kind of my stance. Do we want to dress modestly? Yes. Do boys need to have self-control? Yes. It's not either or. We're going to try and do both. So enough of that. But if you guys could help with that, that'd be really great. Last but not least, I'm just going to go through a typical day, and then I'll take questions and we'll be done. And I'll email this out as well. They wake up, 7:30 wake up. So help coach your kid. It's around a 7 a.m., 7:30. If your kid is used to sleeping until 11:30 in the morning, this is going to be a very hard camp for them. They're going to get them up and get them moving. They'll go to breakfast and then have quiet time. They'll go to morning chapel. Then they go to a morning game. Then they do lunch and scripture memory. Then from 2 to 4:30, they do free time. There is so much stuff to do at Woodlands. It's like Disney World. It's crazy. So if you go on their website, you can click on the attractions link, and it's just 500 things deep of the things that they can do. I do know that they're very good at keeping guy girl separated during lake time and free time. I don't think that guys and girls are ever together during lake time. I think it's like that for even high school. I think they just want girls to have fun, be with girls, feel comfortable, do your thing. Guys, go up on the field, do the 3-man swing, the trampoline park, like all that. I don't think they let those two come together. But they do, guy and girl can be together for free time if it's not lake time, if that makes sense. So like guy and girl want to go ziplining together, that's great. It's good. It's good. I'm telling you, one of the things we have to do better as a youth group is not let senior year be the first year a guy talks to a girl in our youth group. It's very awkward. It's very weird. So we're trying to be more intentional with how to get guy and girl together before college. Then they go to dinner. Then they'll have an evening game after that. Then they have their evening chapel, cabin devotions, and then lights out by 10. So if you want to help your kiddo know 10 o'clock is when you guys are going to bed. High school is probably different. They probably let them stay up a little bit later. All right, let me pause before I have one or two other things. Are there any questions or anything I didn't cover that you're wondering?
Registration.
Okay. What about it?
When is it? How are you? Is it open already?
Registration has opened and
Closed.
come and long gone.
Oh, no.
Is Nolan not on the list? All right, we'll talk.
Okay.
So when did registration open? I'm asking because I really don't know. Like January.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no. Well, maybe you won't be getting the email. I'm just kidding. That was insensitive because I love
I
you.
can take it.
We'll talk.
Okay.
We'll talk. We'll figure something out. No, you're okay. I feel terrible. So normally camp opens around December, January, then it closes in what, like February? Was it February? And then, and I think it's just so Woodlands knows how many kids they're gonna have, so then they can hire and kind of get their ducks in a row. But Megan, let's talk.
Okay.
There might be a way we can sneak her on, because I really want Nola to go to camp. Yeah, we'll talk. Any other questions or anything going through your heads?
There's no like dress up, like evening service dress up type thing, where it's
Yeah.
appropriate that they, I know my kid will ask, like, should I bring fancy clothes?
Nope.
So,
These kids stay in athletic clothes from the moment they're dropped off. Really, like, now you might see like the random junior boy and like they're called chubbies. I hate that, but like those short little khaki shorts. Some of the boys will wear that with like a t-shirt. For the most part, I just feel like it's gym shorts and a t-shirt. It's very, very chill. And it's very hot. So no kids will be wearing pants. Yeah. But let each kid kind of have their own style and do their own thing. But there's really nothing they can't wear. I'm sure there's some kids who want to look nice for evening chapel. But I feel like that normally happens Monday, and then it's just like a free-for-all until they get picked up. Yes. Okay, so any cash that you have, bring that to the 12:30 arrival on that day we leave. My admin will take that. So when I get to camp with them, I'll get all that USD dollars switched to Woodlands currency. And then if there's anything throughout the week, you can check their balance. So you can log into your parent portal. You can say, I sent them with $100 and it's day 2 and they have $10. Like, let me add more for them. Also, mail and care packages, you can give that to me and say, hey, can you give this to my kid on Thursday? Sometimes we have a lot of birthdays or a lot of stuff happening. I think if you mail it to Woodlands, it's not going to get to them probably, maybe even in a timely manner. So just give all that to me and I'll make sure it gets to your kid. Yeah. But as far as money, just bring all that cash here when we do check-in before we leave.
can we just get on the registration and then just dump cash onto their bracelet in advance? Is that, as opposed to
That's a good question.
load up their thing with $50 or $60? Or do
It's a
you
great
have-
question.
I mean, I don't care. It just seemed like it'd be a little easier for you.
Yep. Or easier for Gabby. Maybe. I don't know. I'll have to check on that account, like when that account is open for you to do it. I don't know if you can do it before their week of camp. It's a great question, but I'll check with Gabby and I'll get back with you and let you know. All right, 2 other things and then we'll be done. Ways to spiritually prepare. So Micah 6:8 is kind of their camp verse. They're going to say it breakfast, lunch, and dinner before meals. Kind of get them familiar with Micah 6:8 before they go. And then Woodlands has scripture memory books. And when you leave here, on that table out in the hallway, I have a lot of those extra books from last year's camp. If you want to grab those and just see what they're going to be working through, they call them swords. I think that'll be really helpful to get into the hands of your kids before they go. But I have some extra copies out here. If we run out, let me know. I can run into the middle school room and grab more. I think it would be really helpful too, as I'm talking to parents, to kind of see the habit, the rhythm of what the Woodlands is doing, kind of like morning devotions, morning chapel, evening chapel, night devotions to maybe help get that ball rolling for your middle schooler. High schoolers are normally kind of in their rhythm, but I think it's good to kind of have that muscle memory before camp. So camp just doesn't come and you just play the game. And then when they come home, hopefully they can keep that rhythm going. I think if we can help them in that rhythm, I think that there's some wisdom there. But as far as how to spiritually prepare before you go, I think just let's pray for our kids. Like camp is normally just, I feel like if I wasn't in youth ministry, I would try to be in camp ministry in one way, shape, or form. There's something very special about camp where I think God can use that time to really capture a young person's heart. But if there's a way that you and your family can just take 5 or 10 minutes and help them, like their cabin devos, I know that might be a little harder in the high school world just because their schedule is a little more crazier than when it was in middle school. But normally parents ask, how can I spiritually get my kid prepared? Well, hopefully we already have that lifestyle, so to say. Maybe encourage them, like, hey, this is what you'll be doing at Woodlands. Maybe you can start doing that and practicing that here at the house before you go. Really, the best spiritual guidance is once they come home. Make sure to ask them really good questions, but give them time to process everything they went through. So when they get in the car, when you pick them up here on July 1st, they're going to be exhausted. They're probably going to give you 5-word answers to your questions, which can feel very discouraging as a parent. What'd you learn? Like, we do this even in kids stuff. Like, what'd you learn? You don't remember. It was like 3 minutes ago. How do you not remember what you just learned? But normally it'll come out when we're putting them to bed that night or later that week. I think anything you can do to be intentional with them that week after camp is going to be really important. So that's all I got.